All right. Greetings and welcome back on a rainy afternoon. This is Emuna trying to go to the zoo for the young ones, and the rain is like, I don't think so. So we out here trying to wait out this rain a little bit. And I said, let me come on and follow up on the conversation we had a few days ago. I hope everybody's doing well. Maybe it was last week or maybe it was 2 weeks. I don't know. Been about universal law. So we went over the divine oneness. It was about the Shema, and we went over divine oneness. I said, let me come back on some Solonomic strip again and follow up on that conversation. So if you're enjoying it, press like and share and comment below and all of that lovely good stuff. I don't have the car on, so I have the door open, okay? So we can get some breeze. So we went over the Shema, and we went over the divine oneness of how we are all interconnected and how our behaviors and our thoughts and our emotions and our deeds don't just affect us. You know, there's people who say, YOLO, you only live once. It's your life. Stay out of my business, not realizing that what you do and what I do does affect the other person because no man is an island, right? So the law of oneness shows how we are all interconnected and in this ecosystem right here in the earth and spiritually as well, and we're all connected and come forth the divine, which is the creator, right, of us all. We are not creators. There are people running around hollering that they're gods, right, and that they're creators. You have a level of a power, but you are not the power. We are not God, okay? Although YouTube prophets will have us believing so. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole right now. So the law of vibration, I wanted to talk about the laws of action, because sometimes we don't talk about how it really works, right? And so we get frustrated. Or if you do talk about how it works to the best that we can understand, then you go down this little rabbit hole of what's the word I'm looking for? Secret spaces where people manipulate information for maniacal reasons, and you get into this esoterics. But nah, we ain't doing all that. Okay, there's no need to do all of that. Law of vibration, that things are in constant motion, right? Even if we don't see it, even if it's slower than the eye can recognize, there is movement, there is motion, and everything vibrates as its own frequency. I'm reading my notes so that I don't miss anything, right? Everything vibrates at its own frequency. So music players will understand that different keys vibrate, or different notes vibrate at different frequencies. Different colors vibrate at different frequencies. Red, and I don't have it with me today, but red has a longer wavelength and purple has a shorter wavelength. Certain notes have longer wavelengths and certain notes have shorter. Everything vibrates at a certain frequency. It's not hocus pocus. We can see it when we look at, like I said, if you do music, you can see it when you look at the Pro Tools. You can see it how your voice sounds. You can see if you hit a cymbal how it looks versus if you hit a drum, how it looks. How does this affect us and what does it mean? So that we can understand ourselves, it helps us to understand, for instance, music, something that's very universal, even if you don't understand the words that they are coming out of their mouth. The energy that's coming off the music makes us feel a kind of certain way. Why? Because everything of the law of vibration. That's why. Right? And so those people who understood took that and used it to manipulate those who did not understand what they were feeling. Music is used to evoke something out of you. Now, if we want to get a little bit technical, the vibration of the music or the instruments or the person's voice, whatever that is, it is resonating with the water molecules that's within us. And it's causing a reaction. So if it's resonating positively, then it creates a harmonic shape. And you can see this information in that documentary that I love to talk about. The name of the documentary is Water. Look it up. It's deep. Anywho, so if it's a positive energy, then you will begin to see those water molecules coming up in a very harmonic state. If it's disoriented like rock or heavy metal, it will be agitated and all of these other crazy looking shapes of these water molecules. And how much are we? They say the adult human is 60 to 70, women are more % water. So we have to understand that water makes up a large majority of what we are. Hey, what's up, LF? Yeah, and it does relate to a level of the word muse, right? Um, I think that's what I looked up. I have to double check, but yeah, I think it does relate to the word muse. And we know what muse, somebody's your muse. How are you interfacing with that person? You are controlling that person, their thoughts, their movements, their actions, right? And by what? So if we want to get deeper, that vibration, like the vibration of my voice or the vibration of the rain, it creates a certain energy within us. Whether it's going to be disoriented or it's going to be harmonic. It really depends on what is coming off of that. The harp, in the case of David and Saul, the harp, that string instrument, created a level, it calmed the spirit, right? Like lavender in the scent world is supposed to calm the spirit. It's supposed to calm your nerves. There's certain things like cayenne pepper or peppers. It vibrates whatever that energy is within that particular plant. It creates fire, right? So all of these different things are not hooky pooky type of vibration. I like saying vibration. It's something that if we understand that, we could further know ourselves and gain control of ourselves, right? So the law of vibration. Hopefully I didn't go off topic. Like attracts like. We always hear that birds of a feather flock together. This is when the creator said in the beginning, and if you subscribe to the script, it said male and female created he them, right? And then in this creation of this like kinds. So creation is created with like kinds of animals on the sea, in the sea, like kinds of animals on the land, like kinds of animals in the air. All of these like kinds, and within those like kinds, there are like kinds. Like within the ants kingdom, there are different type of ants that don't rock with the other ant, right? The fire ant is not over here with the woodcutter ant. So even within these like kinds, there are subsets that can teach us something. And we've heard misery love company. How to measure frequency. After we're done here, I don't have it because I'm on the phone, but look up color palette or color, and you will see just simple pictures of why you see reds and why you see yellows. Like now, right now I'm looking out my window. What allows me to see green versus what allows me to see yellow versus what allows me to see white, and what allows me to see that fuchsia pink over there in the corner. I'm in the bush, so there's a lot of beautiful flowers around. All of these things have to do with how things vibrate and the frequency of whatever it is that we're looking at. So in addition to color and sound, emotions have frequency. I could not be saying anything, right? I could be over here saying nothing, thinking something in my mind. If I'm thinking, that's a frequency. That didn't make, it's like, okay, she's laughing, she's excited, something is going on. I feel, let me know, it's pulling me closer. If I was over here like, I'm not saying anything, but the energy that I'm creating is to show that I'm upset, I'm angry, I'm mad, I'm whatever it is. So that is creating something that people can read without me actually saying anything, even though I said but you understand what I'm saying, okay? So law of vibration, we say something like, we go into a place for the first time and be like, nah, I'm not vibing that place. I'm not feeling it. That's what we're saying. I'm not vibing that place. I don't really like that. There's a place, I mean, shout out to everybody who lives there, but I've said this on camera before and to people I know, like Atlanta. I remember back in the early 2000s, I'm giving dated time here, but in the early 2000s, where all the people I know were graduating from college and moving to where they're going to move, it's like, I'm going to go to Atlanta. So I was like, okay, let me go to Atlanta and see what's good. Because everybody's like, yeah, Atlanta is where it's at. I went to Atlanta and I was like, I don't know that I like it. I don't vibe it. It didn't necessarily do anything to me personally, but energetically, anytime I go someplace, I could say to myself, I could live here, or nah, I can't live here. Right. And that happens to be one of the places. I mean, coming from somebody who lived in New York, maybe it could have been a whole lot of things, but I also lived in Florida. So I say that to say vibration is something in the air. It's in the energy. It's in the soil. It's in the people. And if we cut ourselves off from that, then we miss out on the opportunity to get these cues from our environment. And we put ourselves, it's like little children. They don't have the words to say, but they can know when they don't like a person. And it could be like, hi, and the little child start hollering. This happened to me, real story. When my oldest was small, we were living over in Ethiopia. And we were meeting, some different people. And there's one man in particular, he immigrated from the US there. I said, the moment this man said hello to Shy, she started bawling. I was like, she picked up on that energy. She was like, no, sirree, get this dude away from me. And I just watched that. I just watched the interactions, how it doesn't mean that some children could just be spoiled, but children pick up on energy before they pick up on words, and they can't communicate it, so they may react in going closer to or further away from a certain person, especially when they're younger. They are on point. You want to know what's going on? Just watch a little child when they're younger. They're going to tell you who's who. They're going to tell you who's who, in my experience. Hey, Queen T, what's going on? I wrote some notes here. These were my thoughts. This was back in 2016 when I was doing this study, right? But I wrote here, to attract good, you must be good, right? There's some people, especially in the church, mega church spaces and different religious places, and even just general society, with the thought that I'm being blessed monetarily, but you're doing things that are off, right? And so they're using the monetary blessings to determine that behavior must be good because they're being compensated for it. There's a lot of reason why people can attain things monetary. That doesn't mean they're good, right? When you're good, it says when the Most High gives you a blessing, he adds no trouble to it. So when you're good, at the end of the night, you can sleep. When you're good, you're not on sleeping medications. When you're good, you don't need aids to relax. When you're good, and that means mind, body, and soul, you're good. Right? And that means your actions, your thoughts, your deeds have to be vibrating on a frequency that's going to give you that level of peace. Now, some people may have that level of peace because they have seared their conscience and they're just not present. So you can see some wicked people resting too. I'm just saying. And you be like, I see wicked people rest fine. Hey, they may have shared their conscience, and at which point they have no feelings. One time I think it was on like either Oprah Winfrey or one of these shows, back in the day, where the girl, her sensory nerves were damaged, so she couldn't feel pain. So when she couldn't feel joy, because if you can't feel pain, then you can't feel pleasure, right? You're not present in that moment because you don't have that ability. Well, this little girl has some rare disease where she couldn't feel when she was like hurting herself or running into a wall. And so you may have somebody whose conscience is seared and they may look good, but they can't feel anything. So how good can you really be? This law vibration. So again, one of the major things that we can do is to be aware. Okay, stop ringing phone. Hold on. Hopefully I'm still on because the phone was ringing. Am I still on? Hopefully I am. One of the major things is our thoughts. Like take inventory of your thoughts. Take inventory of what you're meditating on. Take inventory of how those thoughts make you feel. Like back in the day when I was trying to navigate my way through this crazy life, I would notice that I would always go back. You know what I'm saying? Back, trying to figure out, retrospectively go back. And going back, especially traumatic space, you can go back in your thoughts and it make you feel a certain kind of way. They have this therapy. I read a book that was talking about this level of hypnotherapy. I'm not telling you how to go out and do hypnotherapy. I'm just reporting on the findings of the book. And this psychologist used hypnotherapy to help the woman find out what her trauma was, right? And when you go back in thought, it brings back up these emotions. Now, this is why I talk about Solonomics a lot, because these emotions get trapped within us. The emotions get trapped within us, and they're connected to thoughts, they're connected to sense, smell, they're connected to taste, they're connected to all of these external stimuli. And once we go back there, we can begin to feel, smell, taste all of the sound, right? So if there's a trauma connected to a thought, something may be triggered, it like the smell of peanut butter or whatever it may be. So the more we understand about what we're vibrating with, like right now on YouTube, people are vibrating. Maybe you might go to a channel 1 or 2 times when they're talking about what's the matter with so-called black men, or what's the matter with black women, or what's the matter with America. But if every day this content creator is only talking about what's wrong, every day you're re-injuring yourself. At first you came there because you vibrated with whatever it is they were sharing. But after a while, if every day you go there with no solutions, you have become addicted to a feeling. You are vibrating with the words because the words is having you feel something. Shout out to you, Queen T. Thank you. So let me put this on the screen. Yeah, we're gonna have more stuff coming from the Yummy Cottage. So definitely definitely tune in. I'm gonna have to make some more admins. And thumbs up the video. Thumbs up the video. Thank you so much. I know a lot of people are gonna catch it on the replay, but I just have to get this in, waiting for the rain to ease up. Okay, so when we keep going back to these channels, man, channel is something that something moves through, right? It transmits something. So what is this? If we go to certain channels and every day it's the same thing, that means they're deepening the groove. They're deepening the groove. And what we're allowing is we are now becoming dependent on this channel to evoke some level of emotion that we have become addicted to. So if the channel, when you go there, it's all about anger, it's all about riling you up, we've become addicted to that, right? And so when we go to another channel that may not be feeding us this, we're like, oh, it's like getting accustomed to too much salt. So when you go to somebody who just cooks with a moderate amount of salt, you go, oh, this food don't taste like it had no taste. It don't got no salt in it. That's because you've been used to sazon, and you've been used to somebody piling up all of this hypertension forming product in your joint. Hey, Goldie Channel, what's going on? And now you're so accustomed to it, even though it's making you sick, you can't stop going there. So understanding the law of vibration and law of action, if you just pick up your phone and you're like, oh, I gotta go see what such and such, because now I want to know what to be angry about. You can't wake up every day and be angry about something. That means that you've allowed that emotion to hijack your reality. And that means clearly you need something to be healed within you so that you don't no longer depend on these negative emotions. Negative emotions vibrate. Now, I've said this before, and I'm going to go up on my little soapbox, but negative emotions, you can again see what emotion damages what organ. Okay, I'm going to give you a little bit. So say fear. Usually when people are fearful, when children are fearful, they pee on themselves. What organ is associated with urine? Your kidney. So then if you live a life of fear, that means that by that energy, that vibration that you are on is going to damage your kidneys. You ready? You ready? Okay, I'm coming. Yeah, we're going to the zoo on a rainy day. Let me hurry up. Your liver, right? Usually people who they say call you an angry junk. There's a lot of people with anger issues. They tend to lean towards liquor, right? Liquor damages your what? Liver. So I'm gonna come read your comments because my mother done came out here with the umbrella. This children is like, we going to the zoo. I don't care if it's raining. Your liquor damages your liver, right? So we know that anger, oftentimes, and depression, they lean on your liver. Okay. Worry, when you're worried, I'm coming. When you're worried, you often sigh. Right? When you're sighing, that deals with your lungs. So when you have a vibration and an energy that is low and that is constant, you better look out for the organs that are affected by that. People who are worriers, they get inclined to smoke because smoking is in contact with the lungs and it's allowing you, some people like, I just got to blow it out. And they feel like their worries or their burden is lifted. So sometimes when people can't break bad habits, it's because of the energy that is beneath that bad habit that's making you inclined to a certain thing. I wish I could go deeper, but the time is going. Let me see. I know this is a little off topic, but Philippe has a show coming up about Voodoo, which sounds like voodoo. I'm interested to see what they're going to be discussing, but I think they're going to be promoting contacting spirits of something. Look, LF, I might have to do a review. I mean, shout out to Brother Philippe, but I'm gonna have to do. We might have to just talk about it. We might have to talk about it. If I was there, I push back. I push back when I'm there. If something sounds a bit off, I don't know. I haven't seen what's going on over there, but we might have to talk about it. I've talked about it in full. I could say in short is be careful of the doors ye open, for ye may not be able to close them. So the law of vibration, I'm stopping on the law of vibration. I'm never going to get to action. Just know that your actions, your energy vibrates, your emotion vibrates, and you can tell when you enter a room and somebody's hating on you. You can feel it. You can feel you enter a room and somebody has love for you. You can feel all these things. That's why they say stuff like, you can feel when people are tense. They say you can cut the tension with a knife. Why? Because it's something that you can feel. Even though you may not be able to see it until somebody manifests it, you definitely can feel it. It's just like them saying that animals can feel when you're afraid of them. What are they feeling? What are they tapping into? All of the questions what we must ask. So concerning, I'll leave us with this, a little bit of homework. Concerning our thoughts, track your thoughts and are they connected to feelings? If you're nervous, see if you're eating crunchy things, right? Hold on. You see her walking there with the, what you call it? Grandma, you on camera. She ran away. She ran away, y'all. Hold on. Let me let her pull this stuff out. Hold on. Let me let her pull this stuff out. So track your feelings. If you feel yourself getting worked up, look for what you go for. If you smoke, if you worked up, you go for a cigarette. If you feel angry or depressed, you go for liquor. I'm gonna take it out. Just track yourself, write it down, see what's going on. If you have a bad habit that you need to break, biting your fingers, overeating, whatever it is, I can almost guarantee that there's an emotional backstory to it. Grandma, you can't come now. Let me turn off the camera. There's an emotional backstory to it, right? I'm gonna have to go because I don't want them to be like, nanny. You can come now. So with that said, if anybody has any questions or comments, feel free to ask. This is some of the stuff that you may find over at thesoulcenter.com, thesoulcenter.com. Let me write it in there for you. I'm gonna write in thesoulcenter.com and play a little commercial, and then we'll come back at another time when I have some more time. All right. Yummy Cottage.
Let's introduce ourselves. We're the Yummy Cottage. Okay, this video is brought to you by the Yummy Cottage. You open your search browser, you put in the Yummy Cottage.com. Cottage.com. And then you go on over to the Yummy Cottage. And here we are. And we have seasonings. This is what our special is right now. The international pack of seasoning curry special blend with organic turmeric, Tex-Mex, Jamaican jerk. We have chicken. Listen, you put it on anything. You put it on your Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts are my thing right now, by the way. You put it on your tofu, if that's what you eat, your chicken alternative. You put it in your rice. You make, broth, all that good stuff. So go on over to the Yummy Cottage. Check us out. That's who's sponsoring the video. If you enjoyed it, press like and share and all that good stuff. And we will make another one. All right?